Welcome to day 156 of our BitClout journey. I'm Ed Krasenstein here with my twin brother Brian, and we have a few things to cover today. This week's been a little bit slow, but there is some news. And first, I want to mention that Reese Witherspoon, it's Reese W on BitClout, is now a reserved account. So all the reserved accounts with the little clocks next to them that the celebrities and influencers can claim. This account didn't exist before. And yesterday, I believe it's the first account to get added to the reserved account, which is a little strange. I'm not sure exactly why. It's worth noting that yesterday, the founder reward on the account was changed from 100% to 99.9% and then to 10%, like other reserved accounts. But we're not sure exactly what's going on. Who Am I also sent this account money. So what do you think, Brian? What do you think's going on here?
I don't know. I don't know if they forgot to add the account, if maybe she changed her username and it didn't, and on Twitter or something. So they had to create a new one over here. I don't know, but it is the first one they've added. And you can see that actually in the code. And Tidjin showed actually the snippet of code that they added this in. So I don't know. It's gonna be interesting. I'm assuming she's gonna join, but I guess we don't know for sure.
It's interesting because the Twitter account has 2 million followers, which would make it be one of those accounts that would have automatically been added to
But she changed the username.
I don't think that happened. They checked the Internet Archives and the account existed over 2 years ago. So it's hard to figure out what's going on here, but it's interesting indeed. I also want to touch on.
But first, I want to give a shout out to the winner of our NFT, our utility NFT last night, Alex Toma. He won this. It's ALEXTOMA. He won this NFT, and basically it was for us to introduce him to the BitClout community, both as a post and in this video. So congrats to Alex for winning it. We put the entire amount back into his coin as well. So just check him out. He's doing a lot of great things with NFTs.
Yeah, and he's gonna write up. We're gonna post a bio about him on our BitClout page as well later this week. And it's just something like we figure we do like this, an NFT that's not artwork, something that it has a use case, and I think it's something that other people might be interested in doing as well. Like you offer a service.
I really hope that this catches on, and we did one a few days ago as well, and I think it's just you can play around with like what you can give, like this one the one we did last week, we're gonna have people on the show to be able to talk about what they're doing on BitClout, and that was one of the utilities they get for buying that NFT. So I think others can do the same thing, and we're trying to kind of set a blueprint for how that can operate. And so far, it's going pretty well. We've been basically any money we bring in, we've been reinvesting into the coin of the winner, just because we don't want to really like take the money from them. I mean, I guess we are taking the money from them, but we're buying their coin and kind of supporting them as well.
Yeah, so shout out to Alex Toma. Thanks for the NFT bid. And I also want to touch on an account called Fast Freddy. So yesterday, Fast Freddy made some posts that it's a verified account. And he made some posts that he's actually working with Diamond Hands on the fuel on the fire. So that's an interesting new account that's been added. I don't know if his name's really Freddy. I don't know if the picture of him's really him. Who knows?
Yeah, and he basically said he's working with the core team. He's been a BitClout bull since the very beginning, and that he said to rest assured that the core team is listening and that they hear what we're saying and they're working really hard. And I'm guessing that the fuel in the fire that he's talking about may be the referral program, but that's just a complete guess. But I think we'll see. I think we're going to see some new things rolling out here really soon. I'd be surprised if we don't see something big next week. But
I don't think fuel in the fire is going to be one thing. I think there's multiple aspects to that. There's some gasoline, there's some kerosene, there's all kinds of different fuel that they're going to be putting onto the fire. I also want to touch on Apple. So there's some pretty big news as far as Apple goes. This isn't just for BitClout, but Apple in general had an announcement yesterday. And it might be really beneficial to some of the apps that are trying to build on top of BitClout.
Yeah, so as you may or may not know, Apple kind of has this walled garden, especially when it involves in-app payments, and they only want you to go through their system so that they can take their cut, whatever it is, 30% or whatever. I don't know what the figure is, but they actually had a settlement yesterday. It was $100 million settlement, and as part of the settlement, they've agreed to allow developers to use the contact information provided to Apple for each user of their app to send them information on other forms of payment. So while they're not going to actually allow in-app payments from other forms of payment other than Apple, they're going to allow the app developer to send emails or other contact methods, whether it's a phone number or a text or whatever, to the user and say, hey, you can pay this way as well. So I could see it being beneficial to like CloutFeed and Cloudy App and Flick app, because they can possibly, when someone clicks to send a diamond, they could send them an email and say, click here, follow this link to actually have the diamond count. I know it would be
It's a bit that seems a bit tedious. Like, are people?
Yeah, but they might be streamline it better. Whereas maybe you can say at the end of the week you click this and it sends all your diamonds at once. So I think it's a way around it, and maybe I'm guessing developers can kind of figure out some other ways that could kind of work this into things in a more streamlined way.
I just don't know if people are going to be clicking links through emails. I don't know. I don't think it's going to do too much as far as the CloutFeed and Flick app go, but who knows? Maybe it's a step in the right direction. I also want to mention, yesterday we were in a clubhouse room that Michelle Lord started, and we're just talking about BitClout, and then this woman named Drue Kataoka came in. She's a very well-known artist, and she's somewhat of a clubhouse celebrity. Her picture was actually used for the clubhouse icon on mobile devices. They actually used her photo. And she has over 790,000 followers on Clubhouse. And she's a very well-known artist, and she fights for women's rights, and she's a really good person. And we were just talking to her in the Clubhouse room, and we're like, hey, have you ever heard of BitClout? And we kind of got into discussing it with her, especially Raj Lahoti and Michelle. We kind of introduced her to BitClout. And about half an hour later, she actually signed up for an account. And about 2 hours, or I guess several hours later, she minted her first NFT on the platform, which is really interesting. Like somebody like that who really notices BitClout, I think it's really good for the platform. And to see, her embracing it and minting an NFT and selling an NFT in less than a day from when she signed up, I think is a really good use case. And we look forward to talking to her more on Clubhouse and on BitClout. And I suggest everybody go and give Drue Kataoka a follow. I'll tag her below in this post.
Yeah, and it was funny because, like you said, Michelle Lord created the Clubhouse room, and we had a really good conversation. And then it was like down to like 30 people or so, and then all of a sudden, Drue comes in, and if you know Clubhouse, when somebody big comes in the room, others see it and they come in. So within like minutes of Drue coming in the room, there was over 120 people in there. And the majority of them had no idea what BitClout was. So it was a huge opportunity to kind of teach Drue about BitClout, but also probably about 80 people that had never heard of BitClout learned about BitClout. And I want to give a huge shout out to Raj Lahoti, because he gave her a lot of information. And after the Clubhouse, he worked with her, it looks like, to help her set up an account. So thanks for that. I think she's going to be a really valuable asset to the platform. Maybe she can bring some people over as well. And the Clubhouse room, we all kind of, as a community, kind of taught people about how BitClout works and what the advantages of it are over traditional social media platforms.
Yeah, so I mean, all in all, it was a good day yesterday, and I think that's a good place to end off day 156. See you tomorrow.